Hey guys, so I'm gonna be recording 2 videos for today because I forgot to record yesterday. So here's yesterday's. Okay, I wake up, right? My brother's getting ready to leave. He's going to DC, right? Um, don't know why. Don't know why. Don't ask why. Don't care why. Um, excuse me. He's like, "Can you pick up my meds? Let's go together because I low-key need my meds." And I'm like, well, I was gonna get them today anyways, so like, yeah, sure, let me get ready. And then he was like, okay, I found my meds. I'm like, cool, awesome. Sorry, I don't know why my hair looks like this right now. I brushed it. Whatever the fuck, don't care. And so he's like, can you make me breakfast? Cool, awesome. So I make him a peanut butter and marmalade sandwich because like that was the only like jelly kind of stuff we had. And I cut him up an apple, I give him some Cheez-Its, I'm great at that. I'm great at taking care of my little brother. He's a grown adult, by the way, but this is fun for me. Actually, no, he's not grown. He's a freaking kid. Whatever. He's an adult though. But yeah, then he was like, okay, so I'm leaving. And I'm like, okay, bye. Peace. That was the last time I'm gonna see him for like a good long time. I could text him, I could do whatever. Who cares? That's my brother. And so I'm just like kind of lounging around a bit. I call my mom because I'm bored, and then I'm like, oh shit, I should like go out and like get the shit done that I need to get done. So I go all the way downtown because that's where I buy my vapes. And so I buy a new vape. I see my guys again, they're great. I'm like, I'm not gonna be coming back for a while. I gotta go back upstate to work, blah blah blah. And he's like, oh no, bummer. And I'm like, no, don't worry, I'm coming back. Like, this is my place. Like, love you guys. Yeah. So I get my new vape, and then I go stand at like some corner that's like nearby that place, and I start smoking a cigarette. This is my last one, so I'm like, whatever, I could do what I want, right? And this dude next to me, he's like selling books. He has like his like little stand set up or whatever, and he's selling books, and he comes up to me and he's like, can I buy a cigarette off you? And I'm like, this is my last one, but you can have it. And he's like, cool, we could share. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I got more at home. I don't care. So he walks away, and I'm like, okay. So I follow him, and he's like talking to people, and he's like crazy. He's all over the place. I give him my cigarette. I'm just like, hey, here. He's like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I just kind of hang out with him for a while. Like, I don't know, he just starts talking to me, and he's like, we have great energy together. Look at this, like, we're selling books. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I like you. We get along. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, you want like coffee or like, I don't know, beans and rice? I'm like, I'm good. But he's like, but if you had to pick one, and I'm like, well, probably beans and rice, because like, I don't know, if you're in like survival mode, I feel like that would be like the most sustainable thing. He's like, so you want beans and rice? I'm like, I was just answering your question. So he ran away and he got coffees, except for he got one coffee that was like half full, and he brought 2 cups, and he's like, split that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be drugged here, but okay. So I split it, and he's like still talking to people and like blah blah blah. He tried selling a book for $47.95. Bro, you're on the side of the street here selling just books. Like, there's not even like a theme or anything. Just books you found. Most people had maybe $4. And he would just like basically hand out books or whatever and be like, it's fine, whatever. I'll be blessed. It comes back to me. Okay, king. And he sat down and he's like, tell me something wonderful. And I'm like, okay, if we're talking conspiracy theories, all of world history is a lie. And he's like, that's surface level stuff. That's basic. And I'm like, who is this guy? Okay. So I'm like, okay, so what do you think about like the ancient civilizations that live underground? And it's like the people who run the world up here were like cast out from the underground worlds. So that's why it's basically hell on earth up here, but they're living a utopia down there. Even though I do think that utopias are dystopian. It's like, I don't know, it contradicts. But he's like, oh, that's nothing. And I'm like, okay, let's get into afterlife theories. And so I tell him what I believe based off of science, what I think is, the most possible outcome when you die based off of what we know scientifically. So I'm explaining, like reincarnation makes the most sense because of the law of conservation and like blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I believe that we go up there and we look down on our lives and we just think, I wasted so much time. And I'm like, so like what, like a heaven? And he's like, no, just up there. And I'm like, okay, so you do drugs and you're in a cult. Love that. And then he pulls out this big ass book, and it's like something, I don't even know, but it had like all the secrets of the universe in it. I open it up, it's laid out like the Bible, and I'm like, so what's in this coffee? Like, I don't know. It was like pretty bizarre. And then he's like kind of being like a little bit creepy to me. And he like has his arm around me and like blah blah blah, and like he like, I pat his arm like, and he's like, oh, don't do that, don't ever do that, because that when a girl does that, it means that she's not gonna fuck you, you're friend zoned. And I'm like, so I just said, like, first thing came to my mind, I have a boyfriend. And he's like, oh, I don't care about that. And I'm like, I care and he cares. So you see, so okay, cool, cool, whatever. And then he pulls out, he's like, you want some sushi? And I'm like, what? And he pulls out sushi from his bag, and I'm like, how long has that been in there? And he's like, oh, like 2 hours. And I'm like, so I'm gonna die here, like this is last thing I'll ever do. You know what, final meal, let's do it. So he also pulls out like some weird drink or whatever, alcoholic of course, but he dumps out the rest of my coffee like just on the street where people are walking, like people were walking, and he just threw it without looking. And I'm like, sorry. And he just poured in some of his drink, and so we're sitting there eating sushi and drinking and chatting, and he's showing me his music that he made. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. And then he's like, watch my table, I gotta go, like, I don't know, he just ran off somewhere. And so I'm like watching his table, and some girls come up to me and they're like, hey, like, are you selling books? I'm like, no, it's some like crazy guy, like, I don't know where he went. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm like low-key being held hostage here. And they're like, really? And I'm like, well, like, no, but like, help. And she's like, do you know how much he's charging? And I'm like, girl, I don't know, like, he tried selling one for $47.95, and she's like, oh, I have $4. I'm like, girl, I have 3. I don't know what's going on here. And they got that book, I don't know how. He sold it, I guess, because he came back and like talked to them, and like they were genuinely concerned for me. And I'm like, no, like, I just want you to know that he's crazy and you cannot reason with him, and I'm fine, I can always get out of any situation. Plus, like, tons of people walking, I wouldn't be there if there weren't people around, because like adding on to my lore or whatever. But like, heads up, like, whatever you're expecting from this guy, you're not gonna get. Oh, and somehow he owes me $14,000 because he made a bet. He's like, I bet these people are gonna steal. I bet you $14,000. I'm like, okay. And they didn't steal, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll get that money too, I promise. And I'm like, sure you will, buddy. I said, we didn't shake on it or nothing, but that's okay. Okay, buddy. And eventually I like he gave me a book. It was like The Elements of Style or something like that, and it's just like a vocabulary book. And he was like so shocked when I'm like, yep, nope, keeping it humble, right? And he's like, no, like I couldn't say I'm humble, that'd be preposterous. And he's like, do you know what preposterous means? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's like kind of like an exaggeration. And he's like, yes. And I'm like, hyperbole. And he was just blown away that I knew what a hyperbole was. And it's like, King, I went to 5th grade. It's okay. Like, it's okay. Cool. Anyways. Just insane. Just insane. Yeah. Anyways. Sorry, I'm still like shocked. Yeah. And eventually he was like, well, I was like, yo, I gotta leave. I gotta go pick my brother up from the airport. I didn't. And he's like, oh, okay, bummer. Like, he almost stole my lighter too. And then he's like, will I see you again? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And he's like, when? And I'm like, tomorrow. And he's like, what time? And I'm like, same time? He's like, okay. It's tomorrow. I'm not. Nope. But yeah, I left. I went into Wegmans. I went and peed, took a deep breath, collected myself in the restroom, and then went up, picked up meds for my brother and then I went home. And I just had an involuntary date with a 60-year-old man who's probably a cult leader on the street. And I don't really know how I feel about that, but at least I have a great story to tell people at parties. I got pictures and videos too. I was videoing anytime he left, and I'm like, yo, come get in the video, for memories, Nope, it's so I have something to show police if anything happens. ACAB, they won't do shit, but something for my lawyer that I don't have but will get. Yeah, no, it was just bizarre. But yeah, then I came home. My mom came home. Yeah. And then, I don't know. I went to sleep, honestly. I told my mom what happened, and she's like, okay, cool. But she went on a date with the 60-year-old man, basically, because she went on a date with Travis. So it counts. Whatever. Look at this thing. This is what I've been messing with, like, this whole time. Okay. That's this video, and then we'll do another one in a bit. Good night. Peace out, Toodles.